Hey, what is going on, YouTube? It's Radar25 here, back with another recap. Today we're going to be recapping AEW Dynamite and NXT from February 19, 2020. Going to double up, hit both shows, go over it, give you my analysis, what I think of each show, what I thought of what's going on, and we're going to get right into this video. But before we do, I want to remind you guys to hit that like button on this video, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you guys are not missing not one thing that I'm dropping, live streams and all that shit. So really appreciate you guys tuning in. So let's get right into this video. We got a lot of wrestling to cover. We're in the middle of another week of wrestling. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so the first match of the night, as per usual, AEW likes to start their shows off hot, not with a 15-minute promo like WWE likes to do. So they started the night with the tag team battle royal. Winner gets a match at Revolution for the tag titles against Adam Page and Kenny Omega, or the Lucha Brothers. We'll find out later tonight who wins that match. So they have all the tag teams in this match. Real cluster in the ring, a lot of guys. Couple cool spots to start off with. The Jack Evans elimination was pretty funny when they all caught him after he jumped on top of everybody and they tossed him out. We had the Dark Order in the crowd, also eliminating SCU, so setting up, I assume, the next rivalry going on in the tag team division will be SCU and the Dark Order. I'm pretty sure they're going to have Christopher Daniels turn on SCU and join Dark Order. It seems that way. Let's see what they do with that. Okay, we had Santana and Ortiz on the outside of the ring for the most of the match. But this match did spotlight a lot the Best Friends and Butcher and Blade. So that was good. Seems to be that they're going to have a feud together as well. They had a lot of interactions in this match. And funny spot in the match, Trent looks like he's going to be eliminated, but out of nowhere, Orange Cassidy catches him, brings him back into the ring, and then he gets a kick in the balls from the Bunny, which is a real funny spot. Orange Cassidy, a lot of fun out there. We also had an early elimination of Nick Jackson by the Butcher and the Blade, leaving Matt Jackson alone. I do like the dynamic of a tag battle royal, even though it could be a cluster. The fact that one of the teammates is eliminated and the other one's left there to fend for himself. So that's pretty cool. I guess it's the spotlight the other guy of the team. Later on in the match, we had Sammy Guevara come in for the interference and get completely obliterated, a la Shelton Benjamin when he got caught with a super kick by Shawn Michaels all those years ago. So Matt Jackson catches Sammy Guevara off the springboard, coming down, boom, super kicks him, nearly takes his entire head off. And the ring at the end, Matt Jackson versus both Santana and Ortiz. So he fends all of them off. Again, he obliterates Sammy Guevara, throws both of them out, and he himself wins that match for the Young Bucks. And they're going on to face Omega and Page, or the Lucha Brothers, depending on what goes on tonight later on at Revolution for those tag team titles. If that is the match and they are facing Omega and Page, should be fun to see how that plays out, because they've been teasing Hangman Page leaving the Elite. He's been real distant from them for a while now, ever since the start of AEW for the most part, and we're going to see if that plays in. Maybe the Young Bucks get the tag titles and that leads into Omega versus Page in a singles run and a program together working against each other. So let's see how that works out, but it should be a really fun match. But going back to the Battle Royal, the Young Bucks win. You had Matt Jackson at the end of the 2v1. He was able to pull it out. Great showing from Butcher and Blade and Best Friends. Santana and Ortiz are always great at what they do. So the Bucks are back in the title picture. Now my issue with these types of matches is that there's a lot of times where they try to set up big spots with multiple guys in the ring, and they're kind of just fucking standing there and waiting, because the moves take time to develop, and with them just there standing, it's a pet peeve of mine. I just hate seeing that, like, when it looks so choreographed at that point, where they're just standing waiting around for the guy to come and hit him with a big move off the top rope or outside, jumping out of the ring or something like that. So there was a lot of that in this match, but they like to pull those type of things with these many people in one match. So all in all, I mean, for a battle royal, those things tend to be a cluster, and there's a lot of forearm in the corner type things. But this one was pretty well done, and a lot of guys got time to shine with a loaded tag team division, as AEW does have. This is a good way to have guys shine, like Best Friends, like Butcher and Blade. So that was the best part about it. I could do with not all those setup moves taking so long to develop, but when you're gonna do a battle royal with these many guys and these many moves and big spots, they did a good job of doing it. Next we had Chris Statlander versus Shayna in a women's singles match. Really like the Goku get up from Shayna. That was pretty cool. Funny part in the match is JR is trying to understand what Statlander's alien gimmick's all about. Excalibur's trying to explain it to him, and JR was kind of like, oh, okay, enough of that. He wasn't really feeling it, so he kind of buried that gimmick right there on the spot. Funny spot. Statlander wins with her cool finish. Finish she has is really cool. I really do like it. And we had Britt Baker on the call this entire match. You know, just continues to play up her cool heel persona going on, and she's really buying into it, and you can tell. So she did a pretty decent job on the mic at the commentary booth. Then we had a Nyla Rose promo. Obviously Nyla Rose won the women's championship last week, so she's coming out talking about how she's dominant. It's a decent little promo. I didn't really like the whole you guys sound like bees buzzing around. I thought that was kind of corny, but it's a decent little promo from her. And then we had Chris Statlander come out, and obviously it seems like those two seem to be the next feud. But then we had Big Swole come out as well and challenge Nyla Rose and try to get somewhat physical with her. So maybe they do a triple threat at Revolution, or they do a number one contenders between Big Swole and Statlander to see who gets Nyla Rose at Revolution. Next we had the Jon Moxley versus Jeff Cobb match. I really like Moxley's sense of urgency in the beginning and the start of his matches. He really goes fast at the start and really, puts the pressure on. So it gives it a more realistic feel, like he's really trying to beat this guy fast and get it over with. So I really do like when he does that. Now, Jeff Cobb dominated most of this match. Obviously, he's a new guy. They want to present him as strong, powerful. He obviously is. And you want to get more sympathy on the babyface in Moxley, because he's up against all odds with the inner circle. So you want to beat him down as much as you can. So people are kind of waiting and chomping at the bit for him to get his revenge on all these guys that have been torturing him for this whole time. I really do like Jeff Cobb's moveset. He has a lot of cool suplexes. He has a lot of cool moves that he does where he's getting a lot of power from his hips and twisting and flipping guys around when he's slamming them and stuff like that. So really do like his moveset. Guy's going to be a big-time player in AEW. I do hope so. I'm not sure if he's going to be a permanent inner circle guy, but let's see what they do with him. And, Moxley ended up getting the win when he's getting superplexed by Jeff Cobb. Boom, lands, and then turns it into a small package. So he gets the win. And as soon as he gets the win, obviously Jericho, Hager rush the ring. The beatdown commences. Sammy Guevara's there beating him down as well. Dustin Rhodes runs in, but the numbers are too much for him. The lights go out for a minute, and then Darby Allin appears at the top of the ramp. Huge ovation for Darby Allin. The guy's amazingly super over in AEW right now. And funny when he uses the skateboard to get down to the ring. It's kind of funny looking. Gets in the ring. I really like the use of the skateboard in the fighting. He's blocking shots with the skateboard and using it as a weapon. Really cool stuff there. Insane reversal from Darby Allin on Jeff Cobb when Jeff Cobb goes for a German suplex on him. He kind of like so much hang time, it flipped over him and fucking landed on his feet. Really good spot. So they clear the ring, and obviously it's looking like it's going to be Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara and Dustin Rhodes versus Jake Hager at Revolution. Next we had the Lucha Bros versus Hangman Page and Kenny Omega for the AEW tag titles. In this match before, because the Young Bucks won the Battle Royal, so they have invested interest in this match, obviously, because they're going to face the winner at Revolution. I want to start off by saying, I do like how AEW introduces the ref, similar to how the UFC or boxing does. It really gives the ref a little bit more credibility and a face, unlike WWE, who acts like it's just a faceless guy. They don't even acknowledge his name or anything about him while the match is going on. I do like that, but in saying that, they do that well, but then on tag matches, they tend to have so many guys like in the ring at the same time, which is against the rules, obviously, and it kind of shits on the ref a little bit because he's not able to control the match. He'll go a couple minutes, it's supposed to be a 5 count. It goes a couple minutes, and all 4 guys are still in the ring fighting. So they do a good job of giving him a face and a name and showcasing him for that little tiny bit, unlike WWE. But then inversely, they do that to him where he's his rules, like they step all over him by having all those guys in the ring, and he's not enforcing the rules. So in general, this is a fun tag match. Obviously, we all knew it was going to be great. These guys all blend and work together. They've worked a bunch of times before. That destroyer, that penta hit when he jumped off of a prone Hangman Page and then hit Kenny Omega with the destroyer, that was an insane spot. I really do like the Lucha Bros. Rey Fenix, is amazing in his own right, but Penta just got a cool look, cool gimmick. I really do like these guys together. I wonder if they're ever going to go singles or when. I mean, they probably will, but I wonder when that's going to happen. But I believe they should win the tag titles first before they turn them into a singles. But these guys just together are just amazing. Obviously, Kenny's, probably top 2, top 3 in the world. And Hangman Page is no slouch in his own right. Tremendous physicality, speed, great look to him. So all 4 guys, stars, and we obviously knew this was going to be a great match. But Hangman Page and Kenny Omega get the win. They retain the titles. And then the Young Bucks come out to confront them in the ring and kind of celebrate them, congratulate, or just build up a respect factor that we're gonna we're friends, but we're gonna go at it for this tag title match at Revolution. But before any of that kind of happens, Hangman takes a powder, gets out of the ring, and just drinks a beer in the crowd. So you already they keep setting up those seeds of the breakup happening. It's got to happen at Revolution. I really don't know when it would happen after that. But another thing is that in these tag matches that Page and Omega do have, they've done it a few times where one of them inadvertently hits the other one while they're trying to do a double move. So they've been doing that a lot. And, it's just, we all know the breakup is coming. I assume it will happen at Revolution. If it doesn't, it's going to be kind of odd and why they would drag it out longer if they're already going with the Elite versus Elite match for the tag titles. So I assume it's going to happen then. One more thing is that in AEW, they do a ton of moves, a lot more, moves. There's a lot more. They get a lot more shit in their matches than WWE does. But the finishers are pretty protected, though. I'm not gonna lie, they are pretty protected. One Wing Angel is a one-time finish. Nobody's really kicking out of that. The Judas Effect, the Paradigm Shift, and the Moxley does. They do a pretty good job protecting these finishes. And for the most part, they're getting pins as soon as they hit these finishes. As I say that, we had Cody versus Wardlow in a steel cage. Now, AEW is the first steel cage match in AEW, so it's interesting look to their cage. It doesn't sit on the apron, it sits on the floor, and it's a lot taller than any other cage. So climbing out doesn't, according to them, doesn't win the match. It's all pinfall submission, forfeit or whatever. So it was him versus Wardlow. They really build up Wardlow in this match as a beast, as a monster. Like I said before, they protect the finishes, but in this one, he does kick out of a crossroads. We'll get to that a little bit later. So the match is very well done. Cody is getting dominated and gets color early. He starts bleeding early in the match. He's getting tossed around like a rag doll. Now, there was a point where the door opens, Cody's kind of halfway out, and Arn is looking at him, and here comes MJF. And he tries to get Arn to smash the door in Cody's face, but Arn decides to smash into MJF's face. A little bit more happens later on, too, as well. You see MJF climbing the side of the cage, and then Brandy hits him in the back with like 2 or 3 chair shots. It doesn't really affect him that much, but it looks like he's going to hit Brandy, and here comes Arn to save the day and throw MJF over the barricade. So the match continues. Cody fires up, keeps fighting, and I just want to reiterate how much of an amazing babyface and a pure babyface that Cody is and how he's able to pull that off. Before the match started, in his entrance, he's coming down, and you see he's super, super emotional because he's in Atlanta. Obviously, he's home, and his father's home, and, he's with AEW, and they're coming to Atlanta. It's kind of a homecoming, and you just see the emotion in his face, and it even plays more into him being over with the fans as a babyface. He's so good, has so much fire, and his comebacks, and he just has so much going for him as a pure babyface. So he gets the color in the match, and then what happens is that he hits the crossroads. Wardlow kicks out of it, to build him even more up as a monster. So he hits the crossroads, kicks out of it, and then immediately when he kicks out, he climbs the top of the cage, which does an insane moonsault onto Wardlow. Insane, reminiscent of when Kurt Angle did it in WWE. So he hits this moonsault, and boom, that's the pin, gets the win. And it just builds Wardlow a little bit more because he's kind of generic at this point. He's just MJF's heater at this point. But it builds him up because he was able to kick out of that move. And like I said before, AEW does protect their finishes quite well. So with him kicking out, it really builds him up as a monster, including the fact that he dominated majority of this match. But Cody gets the win, so he gets his match with MJF at Revolution. And again, you got like probably the best heel in MJF versus the best babyface in wrestling in Cody. So it's gonna be great match. Like I said, I love Cody's fire, his comebacks. he's the pure baby face that everybody said you can't be or nobody will like in current day wrestling. So he's doing such a great job. Overall, AEW, another, it's a really good show, and they're cranking out good show after good show after good show. And I do like the fact that they don't have so many pay-per-views, so they're able to get away with having these big matches for free on TV instead of having them do, a bunch of random matches or have different variations of the same match leading up to the monthly pay-per-view that they do in WWE. WWE has a monthly pay-per-view. They have a feud. 3 weeks leading up to the feud, they interchange these guys over and over and have different types of matches, a 6-man tag or a tag team match, a handicap match of the same guys, and then the payoff at the end of the month. So it's good that they spread out their pay-per-views like they do. They don't have as many, so they're able to have these bigger matches, so you're more enticed to watch the weekly shows and keep up with it. But another good job by AEW. And now we're going to jump into NXT. Okay, so with NXT started with a promo. Well, not a long one, but it was Undisputed Era coming out to the ring. Adam Cole, now the only one with a belt. They come out to the ring. Adam Cole is cutting a promo touting about how he showed Ciampa what he was going to show him and how he beat him and how he's the best. Obviously he got assistance from Johnny Gargano, but he doesn't bring that up. So he's, heel promo, and then he transfers it off to Roderick Strong because Roderick Strong is having that match against Velveteen Dream tonight. It's gotten pretty personal between the two. So Roderick Strong takes the mic, impassionate promo from Roderick Strong saying him as a man, he has to defend his manhood and defend his family. So that's a personal rivalry he has with Dream. Dream interrupts on the Tron and set up for the match later on tonight. Personal rivalry between these two guys. First match of the night on NXT was Lio Rush versus Jordan Devlin for the Cruiserweight title match. I really like Jordan Devlin's style, hard-hitting, smash-mouth style, a lot of variations of suplexes that I really like. So he's very hard-nosed style. I really like the striking and the suplexes that he incorporates into the match. He dominated the first part of this match for most of the match. Lio Rush got his comeback, did a couple big moves, but Jordan Devlin was able to pick up the win and retain that title. Now let's see where he goes after this. Since he's on NXT UK, he's going to split time between both and probably defend that title on both sides. After this, we had a Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez promo in the back. Raquel Gonzalez explained why she decided to help Dakota Kai. Something, about being overlooked in NXT, and that's why she relates with that. So that's why she helped her out. And Dakota Kai says they're untouchable at this point. So William Regal shows up and then says that in 2 weeks, it'll be Dakota Kai versus Tegan Nox in a steel cage with no outside interference. So another rematch between the two, but this time Raquel Gonzalez is neutralized because it isn't going to be in a steel cage. Next, we had Austin Theory come out to the ring, do his entrance. He was supposed to have a match, but then Tommaso Ciampa comes out, takes a mic, and then starts talking about Gargano and how he should have known this was going to happen, but that he let his guard down. So then he's speaking about this, and then Austin Theory tries to interrupt, and Tommaso Ciampa says, "Look, man, not right now. Do not interrupt. Just this isn't the time." So then Ciampa continues to talk about Gargano, and he's saying that it's going to lead to Ciampa versus Gargano, and most likely, he can only continue and achieve his goals if Gargano is not in NXT. So probably going to end up being a loser leaves NXT match between the two of these guys. So he finishes his promo. Here comes Theory again to interrupt, and here comes the beatdown from Ciampa, and then Ciampa goes insane on Theory, throwing him back and forth between each side of the barricade like 20 times. So that was that. But it was just a way to set up the next chapter of Ciampa and Gargano. Next, we had Raul Gonzalez and Joaquin Wilde versus the Grizzled Young Veterans. A solid tag team match. It's just a way to build up the Grizzled Young Veterans as they make their way into NXT for the foreseeable future and probably set them up against the Broserweights. So solid little match. They cut a promo afterwards talking about how they're going to come to NXT and dominate. Next, we had Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch versus the Broserweights, Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne. Physical match. Well done match. These Broserweights, these two guys together, they work really, really well. They're a lot of fun together. Riddle cut a funny promo in the beginning when they talked about how they partied after winning the tag team titles, and that the Dusty Rhodes Classic trophy got too crazy and failed the wellness policy, so he got suspended for 30 days. So that was a funny thing. He's really an entertaining character, and these two guys together really work well. So I'm really enjoying them too. Obviously, they picked up the win and they partied into the crowd. But these two guys do a lot of cool moves together, a lot of tandem offense that's hard hitting, especially the knee strikes. Two physical guys with believable movesets, and they lay their shit in. So a lot of fun from these guys. Next we had Keith Lee squashing Kona Reeves. So just a squash match. Obviously Keith Lee right now is on top of the world. He's running strong. But after this match, this quick squash, here comes Dominik Dijakovic to come out and basically say, if I didn't do this, I would have beat you. If I didn't get hurt, I would have beat you. If I didn't throw out my back during the match, I would have got you up and you would have won. So a lot of ifs coming from Dijakovic, which obviously Keith Lee pounces on. And, basically he says that if you want another match, just contact William Regal and let's make it happen. So it looks like there's going to be another match, a fourth match. We thought the rubber match was the end, but this looks like since that was such a good match at TakeOver, they're going to do another one after this, which everybody's all for. So it's going to be good stuff. Next, we had another weird thing going on. It was Caden Carter versus Chelsea Green with the rebranding of Chelsea Green with Robert Stone. So the match is going on. It's a decent little match. And then out of nowhere, during the middle of the match, Bianca Belair hits the ring, cuts a promo talking about Charlotte Flair and challenging her, either on Raw or on NXT to a match. And, that she's got beef with Charlotte because she put her hands on her after the NXT TakeOver match. And basically she took the spotlight from that match because, we all knew Rhea Ripley was going to win because of the Mania match. So maybe they may be doing a triple threat, maybe. But who knows at this point. Let's see what happens. One of them has to go to each other's show and have a match. So she cuts his promo, leaves, and then the match just continues as normal. And Chelsea Green picks up the win. Good thing to see Chelsea Green on TV. They're just exposing her on TV for now. I don't know if she's going to do the hot mess gimmick that she's in the TNA, which everybody was kind of a fan of. So let's see if they do it. But it's just, just a way to, get her on TV and get her a win. Next, we had the main event, Velveteen Dream making his in-ring return versus Roderick Strong. Obviously, we know the story. Even though Velveteen Dream is a babyface, he's kind of this kind of heel stuff where he's putting the Strong's family on his tights. He comes out in a cool, funny-looking blue jumpsuit, and he has the match mostly in that. It's a slow-paced match. I do like the mind games that Dream was playing on Strong and playing towards Strong's aggressiveness because of the emotion he was feeling. So that was a good little touch. Match continues. Eventually, Velveteen Dream takes off the jumpsuit. He's got his tights on with Strong's wife painted on the front and the back of his tights. Here comes Undisputed Era. Velveteen Dream jumps off the top rope and hits the axe handle. After he hits the axe handle, he gets the win on Strong. Immediately after he gets the win, here comes the beatdown ensues. And the way we started the show is the way we end the show, with Undisputed Era standing tall in the ring, gloating and everything like that. So a decent little episode of NXT. It's coming off the high of TakeOver, so this is just kind of like a placeholder show. So, but good to see Velveteen Dream back on TV in action. Love to see that guy out there. Love his gimmick. Love the way he carries himself. I love everything about Dream at this point right now. And obviously, Undisputed Era is great as a group. Adam Cole being the shining star, obviously, but the rest of them do such a good job as a group of heels, and as a well put together faction. Out of the two shows, obviously AEW was the better show tonight. That's not always the case, even though it does better in the ratings. I do think NXT sometimes beats AEW, so I think they're kind of split right now, with quality of shows, but both shows are usually above par. So this was just, like I said, a placeholder show for NXT because of the high that was TakeOver, and they're setting up their rivalries going into WrestleMania weekend for NXT TakeOver Tampa, which we saw a commercial to during this program. So just want to thank you guys again for tuning in. There's another recap and analysis of the weekend wrestling. We're midway through. We got SmackDown coming on Friday. I'll drop a recap and analysis video for that on Friday. So stay tuned to that, guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Follow me on Twitter. I'll put my Twitter link in the description below. And hit me up in the comment section what you guys thought of both shows and what you guys see going forward for either show. What are you guys liking from both shows? What are you guys interested in? And what do you guys want to see from these two shows heading into, obviously, after Revolution and heading into Mania weekend for NXT? But thanks, guys. I'm out.